Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Once again, welcome back, my dear students. How are you doing? I hope you're fine. Today, inshallah, we're gonna finish Unit 3. You can consider this as a quick revision on the grammar rules in Unit 3 and also on its language functions. Okay, let's get started. We will start with the past simple tense. The most important part of any tense is the verb, so in the past simple tense we use the second conjugation of the regular and irregular verbs. The simple past tense in regular verbs is formed by adding ed to the infinitive, but with the irregular verbs they vary in their simple past form. As you can see here, the verb eat is an irregular verb. The simple past of it is ate, eat, ate, leave, left, see, saw, speak, spoke, cut, cut. So, the simple past form of each irregular verb must be learned and memorized, and these are some of the most important verbs. The past tense of verb to be, was, and were. We use was with the singular subject. I was, he was, she was, it was, any singular noun. And we use were with the plural subject. We were, you were, they were, my friends were, any plural noun. Okay? And verb to have in past tense is had, do, did. The structure is we start our sentence with the subject plus the past tense form of the verb plus the object. The subject, such as I, he, she, it, we, you, they, and here we use the second conjugation of any verb, regular and irregular verbs. For example, I went to the park. The speaker's action of going to the park has been completed. The verb go is therefore put in the simple past tense went. The negative sentences, we start with the subject plus did not, didn't, plus infinitive plus the object. To form negative sentences in the past simple tense, we must use the auxiliary verb did, the past tense of do, together with not before the main verb of the sentence. And the main verb, meanwhile, goes back to present simple tense, which is the infinitive form of the verb without to. For example, I did not eat the cookie. She didn't enjoy the movie. He didn't have to leave so early. And this is the structures of the questions. As you know, we have two kinds of questions. The first one is yes and no question. We start with did plus the subject plus infinitive plus the object. In this case, however, did comes before the subject. We can see this construction more clearly if we compare affirmative versus integrative constructions. Look at this sentence. He went to the park. He is the subject, went is the main verb. Did he go to the park? We used did before the subject he, and the main verb went goes back to be infinitive. Went became go because we used did. And the second kind of question is WH question. We start with the question word plus did plus subject plus the infinitive. Who did you see? What did you do last night? When did they arrive? And now with the past simple passive. There are several reasons as to why we use the passive voice in English. In these notes, we're going to focus on the past simple in the passive voice and its elaborations. Generally, we use the passive when the focus is on the action and not on who or what is performing the action. As we said before, that the active sentence starts with the subject plus verb to, which means the second conjugation of the verb, plus object. But here in the passive, we start with the object plus was or were plus past participle plus by plus the subject. For example, a clever engineer built this house. What is the subject? A clever engineer. The verb built. The object, this house. So we start with the object, this house. Was. Why did we use was here? Because the object, this house, is singular, so we use was. Plus past participle built by the object, a clever engineer. This house was built by a clever engineer. My mother cleaned the rooms. My mother is a subject, cleaned is the main verb, the rooms is the object. We start with the object, the rooms, where the rooms is a plural object. Where cleaned by my mother. The house was built in 1980. In negative, the object plus was, were, not plus the past participle. Here is an active sentence. He didn't make a mistake. A mistake wasn't made by him. So the difference here between negative and affirmative that we added not after was and were. A mistake wasn't made by him. The question, we start with was or were plus object plus past participle. But with the WH question, we start with the question word plus was or were plus the object plus past participle. Did Maha buy this book? Change into passive. Was the book bought by Maha? When did you write these stories? When were these stories written by you? And now let's revise the present simple tense. In the affirmative, the simple present had the same form as the infinitive but add an s for the third person singular. The subject, the singular subject, plus the verb, plus the object. But here we add the letter s to the verb. Singular subject such as he, she, it, Ali, Mona. For example, Ahmed helps tourists. But with the plural subject such as I, we, you, they, the students, we use the infinitive verb without to plus object. They play tennis. And here you can see he drinks, she drinks, it drinks. We add the letter S to the verb. But with the plural subject I, we, you, they, we used the infinitive drink. What about the present simple passive? I think there is no difference between the present simple passive and the past simple passive except verb to be. Here we use am, is, are instead of was and were in the past simple passive. Here we start with the object plus am, is, or are plus the past participle plus by plus the subject. They play tennis. This is an active sentence. So when we change it into passive, it became tennis is played by them. Tennis is the object. We used is because tennis is singular. Then the past participle of play is played because it's a regular verb by them. What about negative? After am, is, are, we add not. They don't play tennis. Active. The passive, tennis isn't played by them. In the question, am, is, are plus object plus past participle. Does Ahmed help tourists? This is an active question. In the passive, are tourists helped by Ahmed? Here we used are because tourists are plural. What about WH question? Where do they make this car? Where do they make this car? Where is this car made? Now let's discuss and explain the language functions using sequencing words. First of all, next, afterwards, after, before, at. For example, after dinner, before dinner, at midnight, at midday, the next day, the next morning, the next afternoon. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And sequence words help the reader understand the order of events that are taking place. Sequence words are like signals or signs. They help you identify when an event or story starts, when a new event is taking place, and when a story ends. And here there is a girl talking about her daily routine. First, I wake up, then I take a shower and get dressed. After that, I have breakfast. Next, I brush my teeth. Finally, I go to work. Now, let's answer these questions. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. Yesterday my money space in the market. My money was losing, lost, is lost, was lost. Yes, great. Was lost is the correct answer. Number 2. What papyrus first used for long ago? Where, are, was, is. Great, well done. The answer is was. Number 3. Our special food at the festival. Our special food eaten, eating, ate, eat. Great, well done. The correct answer is eaten. Number 4. Bad habits by good students. Bad habits. Avoid, are avoiding, are avoided, avoiding. Excellent. Are avoided is the correct answer. Rewrite the following using the words in brackets. Number 1. We change our cars every year. Use changed. Our cars are changed by us every year. I will not write the answer, and you have to write the answers of these questions, and you can consider them as an assignment for you or homework. In the end, I hope you have understood everything. Thank you very much and thanks for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.